Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners August 11th workshop. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, Treasurer is our first thing on our agenda today for department head updates. Come on down, Miss Ellen.
Does that work?
Get it as close to you as you can.
That's close enough.
Actually, it's not.
It's not?
If you
still
can
can't hear me?
kiss it, it's close enough.
Ugh. It's a
Okay.
little too germy. All right, well, I don't really have anything too exciting, thankfully. We're
Okay,
still
thanks
trying
for
to update our online stuff, which has turned
Yeah.
into kind of a, I may have to talk to you, because they're over my head now with what they need. So we're trying to work that out, and once we do, I think it'll be great, but we haven't yet, so. But we actually posted them all manually this year, and went pretty well, amazingly. So it's amazing how much we do online now that you kind
Yeah.
of take for granted, so. That's happened. What else? Just preparing for the fall stuff and what is all going to change for next year. That's kind of going to be an onslaught of information on the tax bill because of the separation of the school stuff. I don't know if you've seen those sample tax statements, but a little crazy because there's two different
Yeah.
things going on. So, kind of preparing for that. I've been on vacation for a couple weeks, so I've been catching up all day today. Big time. So, anyway, I can't think of anything else really
So the
major.
school stuff is probably one of the biggest calls that I was getting, not here recently, but in the past 2 months.
When the valuations came
With
out.
the valuations,
Yes.
when they came out, and specifically to Dolores, because that is the highest overlay of taxes because of the school district that we now currently have.
Right.
Which I think Leslie said is like 92 mills, don't quote me on that, but it's super high.
Right.
Are we still getting, I know you collect the money, she assesses it, but,
I think after the valuation cards went out, most people did their calling in the first few weeks, so that's kind of died down. And I think we are probably going to have some kind of community meeting to, whether it be just in here during a meeting or whenever we do it, but to try to address some of the questions that will be coming up as we go into the next tax season. So try
Okay.
to kind of make people not so just hit on the side of the head, because you get your evaluation, that's one part of it, you know, oh yeah, my value went up. And then they look at that estimated tax for next year, and you can't see any kind of breakdown, you just see an estimated tax, and it's kind of scary. So it will be. Mostly because of the school, the
Yeah.
state not backfilling.
right,
That's what's really gonna matter, so.
okay. Changing subjects, Color Trust, are we still, most of our money invested with Color
Yeah,
Trust?
we're mostly there, and that interest rate has come down a little bit. 4.3 is about our average
So
there.
it's still
Still good.
doing pretty well then?
Yeah, still good,
Okay.
and I was doing a little comparison. We have less invested this year than we did last year. That's just on, in general, because we don't have quite as much available, and so that's fine, but that's where we pretty much are. And then I know Travis and Robert and I have been talking about that new program that we may implement with the ability for everybody to kind of see the investment thing at a glance, so we can look at it and kind of evaluate where we are, and it sounds interesting. So we've been looking into that and discussing back and forth, but nothing finalized yet. Maybe this month, if we can get it, maybe not till the first of the year, so. I'm not sure how much I have left in the budget, if we can start implementing that this year or not, but we'll
Okay.
see. I don't know where we are. I don't even know if it's been approved yet, because like I said, I've been gone, so.
Okay. So no big issues or concerns at this point in time?
No big issues at our office at all. We've been running really smooth, and that's good. We have good people, and knock on wood, they're still there.
So, again, changing subjects, our tax sales are typically the 1st of November?
Yep.
First week of November? How
Yes.
are those lining out
Yeah,
comparatively to last year?
comparatively, it should be about the same. We sent out the same amount of delinquent notices. It just, around 2,500 usually that we send out, and probably half of those will get redeemed before we go to sale. So,
Okay.
it looks like it's pretty much the same as it usually is, thankfully. Not too much change there. Trying to think if there's anything legislatively. Last year it was all about the treasurer's deeds and that whole process. We've implemented the changes that went through last year, and we have had a few sales this year with the new changes. I don't like it at all, but it's not, nothing we can do anything about, because went to the United States Supreme Court to begin with, and then Colorado put in there how they were going to implement it. So we had to change the way we'd done things for over 100 years to the new way, which is strange, but, I'm old. I don't like new.
I understand that, but my question to that is that costing us more to implement than previously?
I don't think it's good cost-wise. Actually, we'll probably make a little more, because they did implement some fees, more along the line of foreclosure fees. So if you open, because you actually have to go to auction again before it goes to treasurer's deed. So at that auction, we charge a fee that we did not charge before. So that's a $300 fee. We don't do that many though, so it's not going to be a big deal,
amount.
but it shouldn't really cost us anything more. It's just
Okay.
more of a headache. But,
Well, obviously, the reason I asked that question is because with the special session that's getting ready to get underway soon. One of the biggest things that we echoed last year for everybody, all counties, was no more unfunded mandates.
yeah,
And that will be even stronger this year with the state. I think they said 600 to 700 million right now in the hole,
Yeah.
and that's specifically one of the reasons for this special session. So we will be fighting for that hard.
yes. We don't need any more costs.
No.
That is for sure. That kind
Okay.
of stuff is, I'm over it too. All right, any more
Anything else?
questions?
No?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
guys
Ellen.
have a good afternoon.
You too.
District Attorney. Come on down, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you both. It's good to see you both.
Yeah.
Just got him in barely by a few minutes.
I've been racing around today, and I can't believe you guys couldn't hear me without this microphone.
It's not
I find
us.
that to be questionable. It's
It
for the
is not
recording, I
us.
know.
It's for that camera and all those people out there.
That's fair. I was just going to let you guys know that we have already done 4 felony jury trials and 9 misdemeanor jury trials, which is more than what we did, or about the same as what we did all of last year. So for us to have already completed that by August, I feel like we are cruising away on those. And then Jeremy will talk about a little bit, we hired on 2 new attorneys, which we're very excited about, considering most other jurisdictions are understaffed. So we're very, very happy to have these 2 new ones on board.
Yes, I'm really excited about both of these guys, J.D. Levine and John Goodlander. J.D. is going to be in county court. He's already doing a good job there. John Goodlander came to us from New Hampshire. So we're getting him up to speed with Colorado laws, but he is very solid, has a lot of felony experience, and is going to be in a felony docket. Both of them seem very qualified, very knowledgeable, very smart guys. So I'm really excited that we have them, and we're, for the first time that I can remember, full staff as far as attorneys go.
And we have a new attorney with us too, right? Correct?
We do, yeah. So
So-
we're full staff
Yeah,
across the board.
we got more
Exciting.
attorneys. We got
It's,
attorneys coming out of our
an
ears.
influx of attorneys into Montezuma County and
Yeah.
Dolores County. I love it.
That's fantastic. And then the other stuff, I mean, we'll be talking to you guys next month, just, kind of budget. They're still sort of negotiating the DA and ADA. Like, we thought it was finalized, and it sounds like it may not be as finalized as everyone expected, so, but.
Yeah, it's winding down, and it looks like we should have a final answer on that hopefully soon, but there's still apparently some discussions going on with the legislature and CDAC about how that'll look. Probably exacerbated by the budget shortfall.
Yeah, large shortfall.
Yep. So, but we'll talk about that next time.
We'll talk about that next time. Okay, all right.
I'll have a lot more to say.
Yeah,
I'm sure we all will. be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any questions I can answer?
No,
I do have one.
Fire away, please.
Well, and this actually will take both of you because it's going to go from you maybe to you, but now that we have all of our attorneys on staff, because we've kind of, I don't know, for the last 6-8 months, maybe a little bit longer, we haven't pushed a lot of our land use code violations, specifically some of the more major ones. I know that goes to you first, Stephen, and then if it has to move forward or moves up to you all, I mean, I know that I continue to get emails constantly over land use issues, but we've got to start getting a handle back on some of these
Yeah.
I'll let
more.
Stephen go first, and then I'll kind of weigh in when I
Pressing
think I come
issues.
in, which I think depends on what's happening.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think we're both on the same page, Commissioners. A lot of that is going to be dealt primarily through my office. All, violations of the land use code can be essentially prosecuted, through different court actions through the county attorney's office. And as far as I know, it's really only when there are potential public nuisance issues that the DA's office might
Right.
get
I mean,
involved.
Some sort of public nuisance, I could see us becoming involved, and I think it depends on where, and I think most of these will probably occur out in the county, so it would fall to us. If they're within the city, it'd probably be a municipal court for nuisance issues, or if there's some criminal act. So we see it a lot with the water stuff. If somebody's building a dam when they're not supposed to, or blowing up a dam when they're not supposed to, both of those happen, then that's the criminal act that we can get involved with. But the land use violation itself is not criminal in that it's not a Title 18 violation that would normally be prosecuted by the DA. But I'm certainly pretty sure that Stephen would call me if he thought he had one,
Yeah.
and we would talk about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be shy about calling me,
Yeah.
No, I
which is
think-
good. He shouldn't be.
I think the biggest question is just because we have, knowing that everybody has been understaffed, I mean, we've kind of put it on hold for a while, but now that everybody looks like, we have some help, I'd like to get back on some of these, because some of them really are critical. We've gotten a lot of the very worst ones cleaned up, or at least, moving forward to getting them cleaned up, but there are still a lot more in the
Sure.
county.
And ones that would involve me, obviously, just let me know, and we'll get somebody working on them right away if they're appropriate for the district
Yep.
attorney to handle.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, keep the bad guys where they need to be.
yeah.
We're trying.
We work
And that's-
hard every day at it, I promise.
That's all I have.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, thank you so much. I am, tell everybody that'll listen, I am confident that I have the best group in Colorado and probably the country, and they all work very hard and do a really good job for us, so I'm proud of all of them.
Well, very good. We look forward to meeting the 3 new attorneys. All right.
Fantastic. You guys
Thank
have a
you
good
all.
afternoon.
Yep, you
do
too.
the
Thank
same.
you.
Thanks. Veteran Services, Travis.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
How are you?
sir.
We'll go to the next slide. So I left this slide in here. It's nothing new, just kind of a reminder who we serve. 2023 the numbers came out to about 2,388 veterans in the county. I think that's woefully low. I think there's probably well over 3,000. I'll show you later where, if that's the case, I'm actually seeing 75% of them already. So, a large veteran community in the county. What does it cost? You can see the numbers from last year. That's nothing new. We were 1.4% under budget. This year's budget, $57,230. As of the end of July, I've only used about 36% of that. We have received $25,000 plus from the state in reimbursements for veteran services, which is about 6% higher than what we budgeted. Numbers served this year, you can see the annual numbers year to date through 7/31. Main thing, appointments, 847 appointments, almost 8,000 total served, but big thing, 66 new clients, 21 homeless clients that I've helped with services so far this year. You'll see the Q2 versus Q1, the numbers are much lower. I was out for about a week in May due to family illness, and then I took a vacation in June, so that's why the numbers were lower. But as far as July versus June, it was up almost 150%. So definitely seeing a lot of veterans. 58% of the year complete through July, and I'm already 6% over numbers as compared to the same time last year. Indirect income into the county last year was right around $5.4 million with disability benefits. And there's only, as of today, there's only 6 outstanding claims left from last year. 4 of those are widow pensions, so really diligently working on those. And then as far as this year, year to date, I filed 248 claims for veterans. Right now, the average from start to finish is about 133 days. Some are obviously longer, some are much shorter. And as of July 31st, almost $3.8 million of indirect income into the county. One new thing that I started tracking this year is VA healthcare enrollments. So I've assisted 44 veterans so far this year in getting enrolled in VA healthcare. And then just some notes. A lot of these I left on since I missed the last quarterly report. I am attending service organization meetings, all 3 of the local DAV, VFW, American Legion, attending those monthly, so doing outreach to those veterans every month. I was approved, the Montezuma County Veteran Services was approved by the VA as a work-study site. And what that means is a veteran that's utilizing education benefits can get paid by the VA to do part-time work in my office. So I've reached out to PCC and Fort Lewis College, let them know that if they have veterans that want to participate in that program, that I'd love to have the help. Kind of goes along with that last bullet. So many of you know I have an administrative assistant. She actually is employed or is training through the SIR-SEP program, which is funded by Department of Labor. So for the last month and a half, I've been by myself because DOL has not released their budget yet. So she's basically been furloughed. So it's been a busy month and a half, but I'm handling it. And then one last note, the 7th annual Montezuma County Veterans Stand Down is scheduled for September 20th. That's my report if anybody has any questions.
Looking good.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
I dropped by to see Travis one day, and Mr. Torres just happened to be hanging around again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
Oh, my heavens.
actually, his son bought a business here in town, so Rick might be here more often than not, so
Well, I guess that's okay.
that's okay.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I really, Travis, I don't have any questions at this point in time, but thank you for what you're doing, and hopefully the DOL will get their budget squared away and that CIRSA or whatever they call it.
Well, I can tell you
Person will
after
be back.
8 months in the position, I am really enjoying it. It's very satisfying to help veterans and
Good.
feel like you're doing some good. So,
Good. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
okay.
All right.
Thanks, Travis.
Next up, we have Curtis with Road and Bridge.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
I'm just going to hit some high spots on this and then open up for questions afterwards. On the administrative, well, under Road and Bridge, on the budget, we're 64% remaining in the budget. So being only 36% spent, I think we're in pretty good shape. It's just that most of our larger line items are yet to be spent, chip and seal and so on and so forth. So I expect we're going to still probably fall well within the budget, I mean way under the budget actually. On the administrative portion of this, Kathy and I met with Beckholt Engineering and had a real good discussion with them. But the first thing is I've got to ask is where are we at on the land acquisition? Because we haven't received anything yet saying that the land is ours yet.
Yeah, so the board recently approved that resolution to create that parcel, but I have not had time to go back with the landowner and finish negotiating the purchase, basically. So the county doesn't own that parcel yet. I'm hopeful that, we'll be able to do that fairly soon, but that's not been completed at this time.
Okay.
So we have approved the money for the purchase. That's already been done, and that's been done several months ago. We, like Stephen said, we approved the resolution for the piece of property following the land use code, so that we're following our own code to create that 2.1 parcel.
Yep.
And so everything is in line to have that purchase completed. It's just a matter of getting the owner with the attorney and writing a check. But it's all been approved to be done. Everything that has to be done is done, other than writing the check, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's no.
Stephen,
still
I mean,
no-
we a month away. I mean, I know it's hard when you're so busy and stuff, but
So I'm gonna reach back out to him today, or not today, but this week. And then it just kind of depends. We've got to reach out to the title company. I think a month is certainly, very realistic. We just got to, cross our T's and make sure we all agree on all the paperwork and get some dates on the calendar in our proposed contract.
okay.
So once we have that done, if your meeting with Bechtel went well, I think that we should still be able to go to ad by late November, early December.
Yeah, we talked to
With
them, and we believe November is real realistic right now.
So that then gets it bid scheduled and gets on the hopefully spring work for 26.
Right now, Beckholt is working on an amendment to, that was time sensitive as far as how long they were going to be project manager. We've pretty much exceeded that time, and so in the amendment to the contract, it's going to be to where Beckholt will be with us until the project is finalized.
Got it.
Basically, is how that's going to read.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that was it, but November should be a safe figure when we talk to them about that.
Kind of what we're looking like now is kind of what I'm anticipating. That way we're ready to go to ad. Everything is
Yeah.
purchase, everything is done, so it's, on our end, I think we are ready, other than just the
Yeah.
agreement and the purchase.
Yep.
Just there's things that we want to be doing out there to help save the county some money. So, and we can't do anything until that is finalized, so. Okay,
You bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
good. We'll go on to the road maintenance districts and the division information. The one thing that I've noticed is that while we're saying that the mowing in the rights-of-way has pretty much been completed, but to be honest with you, the mowing program that we have right now is really insufficient for what we need. By the time we get the weeds done in one district, by the time we get around to the other districts, the weeds are way too, have gone wild on us way too much. So one thing that I will be working on is trying to update our mowers and our tractors a little bit to where we can mow a lot more at one time, to where hopefully next year we can start by giving the right-of-ways the right type of mowing. It's going to really help with bringing our grasses in to hopefully start eradicating some of the weeds without even having to spray them.
So are you looking to go back to spraying? Because I know that you guys have the spray truck, and the weed department has the capability to mix the chemicals, but we just don't have the driver for the...
We are planning a meeting with them, and we're going to get together with them and talk to them about that.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's still a lot of chemical out there.
There is, and we're going to go down in the building and try to identify those chemicals and see what we have
Okay.
that we can use right now.
Because if we can use both, I think we'll have a lot better success with getting the right-of-ways cleaned up. Because I came down 29 Road just the other day, and it's, well, I came from N to 160, which was pretty dense.
Yeah. The thing is that until we work something out with noxious, we can't legally spray in the right of way without really,
Yeah, no,
you get that, so.
we get that. We understand that. That's where
Okay.
we're just saying, you guys work together. You have the truck and the drivers. He has the knowledge for the chemicals. You got to put them both together
Yep.
to make it work.
We're gonna do that.
The only question I have is, do we have the proper equipment for the right application?
I
Do
haven't,
we need to upgrade spray bars or?
well, I haven't really checked what we have myself yet. Typically, I take it that we have a pretty large truck, and in all the spraying that I've done, typically you've never needed a truck that size. We typically, what I've done in the past is typically more like your F450 or F550 pickups trucks, and mount them to where you can get into the right-of-way a little bit more, and it's not needing that CDL operator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we'll leave that to you two guys to figure out, because I know that tank is probably a lot bigger, and the coming back to mix product is a lot less than being on a 450, 550 chassis, but we'll let you guys come up with some kind of a
I watched a
presentation.
local commercial guy spray out of a truck like you're explaining.
yep, yep.
And he had interior control of his arms, his spray arms. and
Yep.
Boy, he applied and he was done, and he did 30 acres and nothing flat.
Yep, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the combination between doing that and, like I said, more
Sure.
effective mowing, we're going to, I think, be able to make a big difference on the weeds.
Sure.
So. On the trucking division, all of the chips have been hauled now. So they're hauled and stockpiled, ready to go with chip sealing, which again starts September 8th is when we're going to start chipping. Of course, depending on the weather. The crusher, we have, I think we have 3 or 4 loads today, and we will have everything mobilized away from the pit. At that time, next we have extensive maintenance that the crusher has to have. We do have 2 crushers. One crusher hasn't been being used. We've been using the shaker screen on it down at the McElmo pit at the bottom of the 1,200-foot conveyor belt.
Yeah.
So, but we have extensive maintenance to do on that here in the next probably month. That is all I have in the report. So if there's any other questions that you guys have.
Now, I think if you scroll down a little bit farther, Jim, I think the what we're going to chip seal is still on there, which is good. That way we can get it out to the public so they know kind of what to expect or where you guys are going. So I appreciated that. Just kind of looking at it. And I think that was what we had approved earlier in the year anyway when we have to do our
That's what
approvals.
was budgeted
So,
for.
yeah, that was in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Was there any questions? It seemed like last week there was something about road counts or something. Somebody had asked.
Actually, yes. So in our public comment, there was a gentleman that asked about the comprehensive plan, and in the comprehensive plan, it stated that we would be using road counts to make decisions based on traffic
Maintenance
and
decisions.
maintenance decisions, which I know that there were traffic counts being kept at one point in time. I couldn't tell you where those are at. But and I know that we had Shane do some for us periodically, but I do know that those were being used. Now, I don't know, Curtis, since you've been in there, if you have new traffic counts or anything.
Up until 2011, 2012-ish, there was a lot of counting being done at that time. After that time, it seems like for the most part, the road counts had stopped. You could tell that there was road counts every now and then, I think, to try to maybe see which roads had the higher traffic in order to do a project on. But for the most part, very few counts have been done. Now, on my reorganization, I am going to have one person that basically does full-time traffic counts all summer long. We're going to be going from one road to another, and we're going to try to do, typically what I try to do is every 3 years, it's a 3-year circle, and so every 3 years we'll be getting back to the original road we started on and doing it every 3 years. And that's just normal for what the Road and Bridge Department should be doing.
Well, and that was in our comp plan, and I do know that there were some of these, what I had been told in the past of how they were chosen because of the highest traffic counts on
Yep.
them. So as long as we're continuing to do that and looking at the highest traffic counts and getting the best application of
You don't
whether
normally
it's-
just go, sorry, but you don't just go with the highest traffic count though,
No,
because it
I get
depends
that.
on the functional classification of the road, but it is definitely probably the biggest item we go by is the traffic level on that road.
which I would probably tell you in this county, County Road G is probably still
I would,
probably the heaviest traveled road there is, just
Well,
because you're tying
yeah, you're bringing in
You're
Utah.
tying Utah and the reservation and
That's
two
what-
states. I
That's
mean,
what my people has already told me, that they're
It's-
pretty sure that G is probably the heaviest one.
and then you get the major thoroughfares, 25, 26, 29, 33,
M, L,
ML.
N.
I mean, those are pretty major
Yeah,
tributaries to the city. So, but we have pretty good surface on all of those also. So, to answer that, my second question was, and I know that we've talked about this a lot too, is dust abatement, mag chloride. Where do we stand now on that?
Well, and I'm going to be planning on doing some chip and seal next year, but I need more time to assess the roads and try to see what counts I can get.
Sure.
I need to know the counts before I put any roads in priority. I know the Kinder Morgan ones, I think that's a good program that we're doing. The only thing is that the way that we've been doing it has to change, and we have to put it down with a computerized spray bar.
Yep.
So we can get it mixed right and get the right amounts down to get the most out of our bucks.
Right. The application rate has to be
Yes.
proper.
And if we cannot have that spray bar ourselves, then I'll probably have to hire the outfit that supplies the mag to spray it for us. But we'll still get the road in the condition we need to spray it.
Okay.
Well, that's what the plan is on that.
Okay. Very good. Anything else?
Anything else?
Oh, sounds good.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else at this time.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Curtis. Okay, next up, looks like we have James Dietrich with Miss Cara Gildar. Come on down. Montezuma Coalition update and a letter of support.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah.
Made a little PowerPoint for you all, but I think you might know some of this already. My real intention is just to get in front of you, give you a little update, and really, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. So I know James, Kelsey's going to come up too. Kelsey's our communications coordinator, and I'm the executive director of the Montelores Coalition. And our goal is to balance sustainable outdoor recreation, conservation, and economic development in Montezuma and Dolores counties. And so we have a diverse group that helps inform how we do our work. James is on our executive committee, and all the agencies and the local governments and the counties and the tribe. We also have representative from tourism and ag and Colorado Parks and Wildlife. So that's our kind of our advisory board. And then we have another group which we're calling our roundtable, which is really community members and user groups that might be interested in really any part of that. And so our intent is to try and get as many different voices and interests at the table as we can, because what we're trying to do is develop a plan for our communities that balances those things in the way that our communities want them. So instead of it being something that comes down from the state and is kind of a cookie cutter approach, we want to understand our community's needs and then build this plan and then actions around that. So that's kind of who we are, what we're doing, why we're here. And then just a little bit of background is that initially the town of Dolores applied for the, the first grant with support from both counties. And that was a grant that came from CPW. And we started the coalition at that time. And then the person that was in there before me, Michelle Fury, was the first coordinator. I've now come in as the executive director. We're essentially doing the same thing. We brought our executive committee together. We, made the governance and all those pieces and parts that make an organization. But we also went out to the public and let them know who we were, what we were trying to do, and then started to ask for people to come and be a part of the roundtable. And so where we are now is that we've gone through a strategic planning process with Gabe Preston, who's a planner that we hired, and with both the executive committee and the roundtable, we really looked at, and the existing plans, for example, the Montezuma County Comprehensive Plan and the Outdoor Recreation Plan for the county being some of the plans that we've considered, looking at what do our communities really want, hear what are our overarching goals and strategies, and then starting to dig into what kind of projects we could do to make that happen over time. And so
I'm going to stop you right there
Yeah.
because I actually have a question, and I ask it every time.
do it.
Because our community, and I always tell people, and I'll tell them at our town hall tonight, is we have 5 different boroughs in this community, in Montezuma County, and they are all extremely different.
They
From
are.
west to east, from north to south. I hope you guys are getting people to agree on things, because there are 5 different boroughs that have way different ideas, specifically on conservation or just strategies towards anything. So I'm just curious. I just had to interject there because
Yes, I'm glad you are. How are we and how are we?
Yeah. Are
So,
you? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
great.
that's
It's
the
a great question. I mean, I couldn't have asked you to ask a better question. So, first of all, on our executive committee, we have somebody from each town in both of the counties. So we have Cortez. We need to refill our Mancos seat. We have Dolores. We just refilled our Rico seat, and then Eric Stiasny, who's one of the Dolores County Commissioners, is also speaking for Dove Creek. So on that government level, we have that representation. I think what's coming next is where the rubber's really going to meet the road with this, because as much as we've tried to be transparent and communicative with the general public, I think people still don't 100% know who we are and what we're doing. So what I'm really excited about is that we've gone through this planning process with as much input as we could get. But now this fall, we are going to take that plan and go to each town and have a public meeting, like a 2 to 3 hour, 2 hour, I think we decided, meeting where the public is invited. It's going to be very well publicized. We're going to present what we've come up with, ask for comments in real time for that, and then we also are going to have our plan, our draft plan, where you can comment on it written. And so that's actually one of my asks for you all, is to make sure that you have a moment to take a look at it. And what we genuinely want to know is that we're hitting the target. And we do know that there's a lot of different ways of moving through the world here. There's a lot of different goals, a lot of different perspectives. That's very much acknowledged. One of the ways that we're trying to move through that is to find where we find common ground, because that's where we know we can get work done. And there are going to be things that we might not all see eye to eye on. So I was just visiting with our roundtable the other day when we did our initial review, and I said, okay, collaborative work looks like a lot of things, maybe a bunch of things you don't care about, a few things you really love, and then a few things you probably can just barely live with. And that's kind of, that's the best we can hope for. And that's okay. That's what collaborative work looks like. So just reminding people of that process. And then we have in our charter that we really track all the different opinions that come through and perspectives and comments. And we try to work for consensus. We know that you can't always get to consensus, but we have something in place where then, like, there can be a vote for a 3/4 majority, and then, but minority viewpoints are always tracked over time. So we're acknowledging that we have a very diverse group of people and towns and user groups here, but we do firmly believe that there's a lot of things that we do all have in common, and a lot of work that we can get done in that common ground. And hopefully to not get stuck in the places where we don't agree, and to find places where we do agree, where we can do work. So the intention, don't hold me to this, because we're really in process right now of fixing the plan after the last review, but my intent is that November we are going to have a meeting in Cortez, Dolores, Mancos, Rico, and Dove Creek, and I hope the public comes out and wants to visit with us, and that we do get opinions, because at the end of the day, there's 2 things that are going on. There's getting this overarching plan done, And then there's the, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do on the ground? And we want to make sure that it's not just an empty plan that somebody signed in a back room. That's not going to do us any good for the future. So, you know, this work takes time sometimes, and it's possible that we'll have those public meetings and we get the input and we're done with the plan. You know, we review it in a few years, but we're done with it by maybe the spring, but maybe people hate it. And then that means we have to go back to the drawing board and build trust and build more understanding and see what people want and tweak it around that. So.
I'm curious to see, because
Yeah.
like I said, it's such a diversity of the 5 different boroughs in this community. I mean, we see it all the time.
Yeah,
And we represent them all.
yeah,
And it's really tough trying to find a middle ground.
yeah,
Really tough.
yeah.
I mean,
I hear
there's
that.
probably more than 5, because you start counting from the county line just in, you know. Got Pleasant View, Lewis, Yellow Jacket.
I've really debated, do I have one in Lewis and Pleasant? You
Yeah.
know, there's only so much time and money, but I sense that too, that there's every community has its own flavor.
It
So
does.
it does remain to be seen. I appreciate your wondering about that. And I'm certainly open to you all have a lot of experience with that. If you have any words of wisdom around it. The other thing that I did want to and I am genuine about that. If you have any input, I am very open to it. The other thing that we're working on right now that my hope is will help people feel more comfortable and more clear on what we're doing is that we're being really clear with our glossary at the end of our plan. Like, I know one of the words we've chewed on a lot is the word conservation. And I think that's a word that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people in our community, right?
Depending on which borough you're in, it's going to be inflammatory. It can be
Yes.
kumbaya. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be, but it's
Yeah.
there better be a very good description with it, because depending on which group you're in,
It could
be
go-
ready.
It could
Yeah.
go
Be-
from flower
just be
petals
ready.
to ropes.
I'm just,
Fair warning. Yes, I hear you. And I think actually having James on our executive committee has been really helpful because he has a really good sense of all those different pieces of the puzzle. And he's a really good sounding board for that. And one of the things that I am genuinely very focused on is, again, making sure that this plan and that this language reflects our community and that we can talk about things in a way that hopefully there is common ground. I mean, we'll see, but it's definitely top of mind, and Kelsey's helping me with this too, and I've been in this community for 21 years, so I have somewhat of a sense of how we roll here, or the different ways that we roll is like, let's pick words and phrases and concepts where we do have common ground. But we'll see, we'll see. This is a community-driven plan, and if we bring those public meetings out and people are really upset about stuff, well, then we'll hear what they're upset about and see what we can do.
okay.
It's the best I can say on that.
I'll let you get on now. Sorry, I just,
No, I'm so glad.
I read that language and I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to ask the question.
Was there a certain part of the
No,
language that popped out for you?
Well, the language in itself is, what I call our different boroughs are all the municipalities, number one, which is make us Dolores. And they're all totally different,
Yes.
totally different.
Yep.
Then you have the Mountain Ute tribe, totally different. And then you have our westerly borough out there, which I consider all the way Pleasant View basically to
Sure.
the county line aerial of the whole, that Kinder Morgan community out there, which is a totally different borough by itself too. That's what I said. When you get east to west to come together, okay, I'm curious to see how you navigate it, because then I'm going to be watching to see if there's something else we can do differently, because
From the upper Dolores to the lower valley, you got a challenge.
it's a The dynamics with the personalities are huge.
Yeah.
So that's all. I was just.
They didn't tell me that when I took this job. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
well.
I hear you, and
Yeah.
again, it remains to be seen. I'm a hopeful person. I'm a positive person. I think internally, our organization is really good at communicating and listening and being fair and considering different opinions, and so that's how we're stepping out into this is genuinely to listen and to capture the core values that we all share, and let's sift it down into that and then see what work we can do. And so that makes me hopeful that, we're authentic, we're doing our best, we really want to know, and we'll just go from there. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just change.
I know,
It's changed.
I know. And to me, part of what I like to share with people when I get to talk to them one-on-one, or like I visited with the gun club a couple weeks ago, and I just let people know this is our community. We have certain values and ways that we like to live here. And that is very much something that's respected. And the intention of what we're trying to do here is to put some things in place that allow our communities to continue to thrive in the way that we think is important, and to have our landscapes be healthy in a way that we think is important. And I know some people get really hesitant about this and think that it's some directive coming down from the state that's trying to make us into Salida, or trying to make us into Boulder or Durango or this or that. And it really isn't. It really is an opportunity, as best as we can, come together as a community to define what we want, wherever that is, and then work on that. And I know it's hard here. People really care about their way of life, and they have a lot of pride in it. But there's a way to preserve our heritage here too. I mean, that can be part of this too. It's not necessarily about change, other than the change that's it's already happening, and we can choose to either get ahead of it
Sure.
and make it the way we want it, or we can have to react to it. And I'd love to see us take the vision that we have for our community and get ahead of it and keep our communities the way we want them. So,
Okay. Very good.
yeah. So I'll just briefly touch on what we are moving forward with. So I mentioned that we're finishing up the plan and we're going to get public input. We also have the opportunity to apply for a grant through GOCO. They're the major funder, but CPW is the grant administrator. Same kind of grant as what we've been working under, but they're actually set aside money now where we can start doing some projects. We can't do something big yet because our plan isn't finished, but we're doing these we're asking for money to do what they're calling these early win projects. So again, like I said, we're still building awareness and trust and listening in our community. So one of the projects we're proposing is an opportunity for people to kind of tell their stories about this landscape. Kind of a storytelling event where people can talk about, well, I've been in this community for this many generations, and this is what's important to me when I'm out running cattle here, or I just moved here 5 years ago and mountain biking changed my life, whatever it might be. And there's going to be inevitable conflicts between those kind of people. But sometimes when you can just talk to people one-on-one or hear people's stories, it changes it from so much conflict to maybe a little bit more understanding, or, oh yeah, well we both really care about the aspens, whatever it might be. So that is one of the proposed projects that you see up there. And then kind of more on the back end of things, we are working on a mapping project where we're bringing together layers from CPW and other existing data to kind of look at where there's different hotspots and more fragile areas, and where there's areas that could be, maybe more appropriate for build out of or maintenance of existing recreation, where we can maybe point people towards, and maybe areas that maybe we just kind of keep as local secrets, or we don't point people towards as much. And the hope with that is that we're doing the right thing for the land and the resources, but also that when our trails groups are trying to plan trails, that they can use this tool and already have some ideas of, hey, this is an area that is probably going to work, or maybe there's going to be issues with CPW or BLM or whoever it might be. So that's what that is for. And then this I'm really excited about. This is some actual work on the ground that we're hoping to get done. We're going to ask for, I think we're at about $70,000 over 2 years to try and get some strike, we're calling them strike teams that will probably go through Southwest Conservation Corps and just get some work done that people want done that everybody can agree on. So just to be abundantly clear, we are hoping to be able to offer this to some private landowners, but we would never, this would always be a voluntary thing, that if somebody was interested and it fit within the parameters of what we were doing. But it's exciting to think about working across borders. So it's not just public land. It could be like at Hawkins or at Carpenter or town of Mancus. We want to have that flexibility because the boundaries really are just something that's in people's heads, but the land doesn't actually have boundaries. So if we can get weeds treated across land, across ownerships, that's kind of more bang for our buck. So we're hoping to do this. We're hoping it contributes to the workforce a little bit, and maybe it's a pilot project for something that, you know, we get more funding for later and can do more work that way. And then finally, one of our executive committee members came up with this, and she's a local rancher, and she also was saying, you know, sometimes things like art can help people understand things, and she really runs into a lot of issues where people don't know how to be respectful of cattle on the landscape anymore, and so she suggested an art contest where it could be kind of illustrating, you know, why ranching on public lands, and the winner of the art contest, the art would be on signage or on pamphlets that could kind of help people understand why are cattle here, how does that work in our community, how does it help, how do you be respectful when you're trying to get through a cattle drive or whatever it might be. So these are some projects, again, that we're still trying to talk with the community, build trust, build common ground. So part of why I'm here today is to let you all know where we're at and encourage you to comment on the plan when it comes out. And then part of it is to ask that if you support the work that we're doing, if you would be willing to sign this letter of support for this grant proposal that we will be putting in the next few weeks.
Okay. James, anything to add?
I don't think so. I think Cara covered it pretty well. I think maybe the one common ground we all have is change. Because, boy, we're all pretty anxious over that. We don't know, nobody has a crystal ball, so we don't know what's coming. So we do try to get in front of it as best we can, talk about it with our community, and try to get ourselves as prepared as possible for that change.
I'll make my last comment, and then I'm going to leave it. But, you know, we hear this all the time, is like, you know, what are we doing to create change so that we can keep our youth here, and that we can keep jobs here, and that we can keep, you know, just a variety of things here. And every time then we start to get some kind of change or direct change, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what are you doing? Don't change. And it's like, you know, you ask for change, how do you, it's just, it's complicated, I guess. And change is the only constant thing in life.
Yeah. Change is inevitable, but very difficult.
Yeah.
So
It's such a human nature thing.
I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Um,
I'm trying to not push on this, I guess I would say, is just to really listen to people and take the time that it takes and do things where there's openings. And it is hard, and I know especially in this community, it's hard.
Let me give you an analogy here. So I've got this young lady here who's complaining about her road because it's tattered and it's torn and it's got ruts and
Weeds.
chatter marks and weeds in it, right?
Yes.
So James, we give him the direction, and he goes out and he waters it and he rolls it and he blades it, and it is like smooth as silk. And then now you call us the next day and you're like, what are you guys doing? You changed the road. Now she's flying down the road 50 miles an hour. And it's like, that's, I guess, as simple as that is, that's change.
Mm-hmm.
And one person hates it, one person loves it, and then you switch it the opposite way, and it's just like, where is the middle? And it's a challenge. So anyway, super simple, but I don't have any other questions. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
But you're more than welcome to come out to our town hall tonight to listen to see what, we face out there tonight.
I hear you. Yeah, well, honestly, I watch things in this county, having lived here for a while, and I share those concerns and frustrations. And like I said, you all are the kind of the leaders of that. And so if an idea pops into your head, or I mean this genuinely, James knows, I'm really authentic. Like, if you see something that I'm doing as we move forward and think, oh gosh, she's really not doing, maybe there's a different way she could say that or do that, would you please let me know? I genuinely, I want to know. You want to have coffee or shoot me an email. It is a balancing act, and I think in some ways my expectations are managed, knowing that. But we have great opportunity. We have, over the next 5 years, we could get up to $2.5 million from GOCO just for our coalition, and maybe there is something that enough people want that we could do something. I hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would like to add?
Do you have something? Yeah, please.
I would say that I've only been with the coalition for just a brief period of time so far, but I think that it's great that we're focused on these like small early wins, because I think the only way to build trust and to move things down the line is to like do small increments of change and build trust within the community, and maybe take it a little step further and step further. And then the other thing that I'm very impressed with is the executive committee and the roundtable and the diverseness of that group. To be able to have, how many people in the room? 25 people
we had
in the room
25
last
people.
week commenting on this draft plan, and there were no contentious debates.
People did have some,
There were some
different
comments,
thoughts, but
yeah.
we had everything from backcountry hunters and anglers to motorized rec to, large landowners that also run on public lands to quiet uses. And it's a, it's a process. I think part of it, ironically, is opposite of what you have experienced, because people have been pretty quiet. And I actually started to say, well, how is this landing for you? Do you agree with the definition of conservation that we're thinking of using for our working definition? And really reaching out to people and say, well, what about you? I know you really care about motorized recreation. What do you think about this strategy? And it takes a lot of patience and time to draw people out. And then people did have things to say, but I think most of us in this community are pretty respectful. There's a few people that aren't, but a lot of us really, really are, and know how to be good to each other. And so I'm going to just bank on that as best as I can and encourage it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Commissioner, any questions?
No, nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
All right.
much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you both.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Travis, do you have anything you'd like to add while you are here?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. Well, with that, we've come to the end of our agenda, and we are adjourned. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock at Sale Barn, I guess is lack of a better term. Is that what it is? For our traveling town hall tonight. And we are adjourned.